Hello, my name is Rosalinda Quezada, and my final submission project is on anxiety disorder. On the front title page of the brochure, I put an acronym of anxiety. So the A is for all in your head, the N is for not enough, X I had trouble trying to find an acronym for, but I put Xanax will solve it all. It's a bit out there, but most people use it to cope with anxiety, just so that they feel numb to the feelings that to the emotions that they're feeling. I is impatient. Most people who have anxiety know that they um, suffer with like impatience, being impatient in situations. The E is for easily triggered. I put that because some people who are suffering with anxiety, you might not know that they're suffering with anxiety, and you could say something that will literally ruin their day, and they'll just they'll their emotions will come out. For T, I put try harder. Most people with anxiety think that, like, when they feel like other people are like pressuring them to try harder, and they feel like they have to, when in reality they're just battling with themselves. Same for Y, I put you will never succeed. That's what most people with anxiety do think. So for the first opening, I put there's a few topics. So the first one is type of anxiety disorders. I got these from the DSM-5. Ooh, I don't think you can see. I got these bullet points from the DSM-5, and on that it says separation anxiety, selective mutism, specific phobias, social anxiety disorders or social phobias, panic disorders, panic attack specifiers, agoraphobia, generalized anxiety disorder, substance or medically induced anxiety disorders, and then anxiety disorders due to other medical conditions. And I put at the bottom here, these are disorders that come with anxiety that anyone could have. And on the second column, we have anxiety statistics, and right here at the bottom we have severity of anxiety. So we have two diagrams, and the first one shows that women suffer, or 23% of women, 23.4% of women suffer from anxiety, and 14.3% of men suffer from anxiety. And in the middle here it says anxiety impacts about 18.1% of adults in the United States, totaling to 40 million people, which is quite a lot of people. And then right there at the bottom is the severity scale, and on that there is 3 levels. There's mild, there's moderate, and severe. For the mild, it is 43.5%, which is the biggest percentage of anxiety. The second one is moderate, which is 33.7%, and the third one is the severe cases of anxiety, which is 22.8%, which is in reality a lot of people, a high amount of percentage. And then on the third column in the last page for this one, for the inside of the brochure, it is what are some causes of anxiety. And I put that there are an infinite amount of causes for anxiety, but a lot of people know that some small events in life are no big deal. For some, but for others, it causes an overwhelming amount of anxiety. Some causes for anxiety can be small for some, like new environments, like moving to a new city or a new school. Most kids that move to a new school do experience anxiety because they really don't know what's going on, and they are experiencing something new, and they just don't know how it's going to work out, pretty much. And then the other one is physical and mental exhaustion. Most people, um, when most people with anxiety, they have, like, when they're tired. I know when I'm tired, I just can't, and sometimes I can't, like, get out of bed, and I feel like everything's just like over. But in reality, it all works itself out. Sorry, I'm kind of outside and it's windy. And then also overthinking small situations. I overthink everything. There's situations where I got a letter in the mail about a week ago, and it said that I owed $920. And it's not a big deal because I know something was wrong, because my financial aid should have covered that bill for my classes. And my mom told me not to worry about it, and I worried, and my anxiety got the best of me, and it all worked out. They told me to disregard the paper, and everything worked out. But my anxiety always gets a hold of me. So the rest says, for others, some causes for anxiety. For others, some causes of for anxiety are harder on some. Stressed about money, school, work, even the future. But it can be harder, like people dealing with trauma from early childhood. Most people with anxiety, they tend to suffer from anxiety because of past events in their life, such as like childhood trauma or other events, such as like sexual abuse or stuff like that. Most children suffer from that. And on the back here, the next column, I think this is the fourth column. It says I don't know if you can see it. Okay. The most common symptoms of anxiety and the best treatments for anxiety. So I'm going to start with the common symptoms. Some common symptoms are nervousness, restlessness, and tension. The next bullet point is sense of danger, panic, or doom, rapid breathing and heart rate, sweating, trembling, weak or tired, and the last one is trouble concentrating. The best treatments for anxiety, there are the two most common and effective plans for treatment are psychotherapy and medication. Psychotherapy always is just you speak with a therapist in order to see what problems need to be addressed, and if the therapist thinks that you need further help, they will prescribe medications, which is the second form of treatment. And here on the back, which is the last column, it is how and where to find help. So there is 2 bullet points. There's the anxiety hotline, and the number is right there, and they have a 24-hour treatment. So you can call it any time of the day, anytime, night or day, they will answer. And the second bullet point here is any local hospital, as long as you walk in and tell them that you need help, they will help you, and they are obligated to help you until they know you are safe, mentally and physically. And the last little part here is good ways to cope with anxiety. Some good ways to cope with anxiety, and I have tried, and so has my family, is deep breathing techniques. So, like taking deep breaths through your nose and out through your mouth. Those are very good. Same with aromatherapy. That is very good. There's like lavender that makes you relax. It's really good. My little sister, she has an aromatherapy machine in her room, and she has a lot of scents. Doing yoga or going for walks is a very good way to cope with anxiety. If you feel like you're really anxious and you have to like go for a run or go for a walk, and yoga, I heard, is really good. And the last little bullet point here is getting all your feelings out, whether it be on paper or out loud. That is I've heard people writing down all of their, like, what they're feeling on paper, and then like burning it. But obviously you have to be safe about that. It's just all of those ways. Maybe journaling also, that could be a very good one. But I know a lot of people do the deep breathing technique and aromatherapy. But going for walks is a very good way to cope with your anxiety. And that's going to be it on anxiety disorder, and on the anxiety disorders, actually, because there are multiple. And that is my brochure.